And Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu ordered the woman to stay at home, don't come to the masjid. And this was an absolutely correct order that he gave. No one could challenge the wisdom of this order because of conditions of insecurity. Stay at home. But is there any evidence that he gave this order to remain in force permanently until Qiyamah? Where is the evidence? If you can give it to me, I'll be delighted to have it. Or was this order temporary, not permanent? And temporary because it was responding to a specific condition of insecurity. If it is a temporary order, and so long as you have insecurity in downtown Sydney, okay, then of course you'll ask your woman to stay at home. Stay at home, don't come to the masjid, stay at home, don't go to the supermarket, stay at home, don't go to the shopping malls, stay at... Wait a minute. We're telling them to stay at home, don't come to the masjid, but they could go to the shopping mall? Problem here. Looks like double standards here. Stay at home, don't come to the masjid. But they could go to the market, and they could go to the supermarket, and they can go to the shopping mall, and they can go driving around all over Sydney, but not in the masjid. Who are you fooling? So long as there are conditions of insecurity, even in a Muslim village, we will tell the woman, stay at home. Yes, because it makes sense. But when we are able to establish conditions of security, no fitna for a woman in public, then we have the duty to restore to them a right which they enjoyed at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, at the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, at the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhum. And so in the Muslim village, the women at the back, the men at the front, provided we have conditions of security, no fitna. When once there is insecurity or conditions of fitna, we say to the women, stay at home. This is the part that the women are going to love. But there's another part now that the women are going to be scared about. Any Muslim woman who is not married and who wants to be married cannot get a husband, and who comes to the village and says, I want to be married. The village has a religious obligation to find a husband for her. One man, one wife, as the norm of civilized living, belongs to downtown Sydney. And so in the Muslim village, provided that a man has the means to maintain more than one wife, and provided that he has some assurance in his heart that he can treat them with equity and justice, he has a religious obligation to marry. So you're not marrying because she has a pretty face. You're marrying for blessings from Allah. That's why you are marrying. And so in the Muslim village, every single woman who wants to be married will be married. There will be no unmarried woman, except those women who say, I don't need a husband. I don't want a husband. Then we respect her choice. Every woman who comes to the village, no matter how many children she has, and does not have a home and does not have the means of maintenance, the village has to open its arms for her and provide her with a place to sleep and food to eat and clothes to wear. A collective obligation of the village. And so the battered women, the women who want to leave their homes, want to get out of this marriage because this man is drinking alcohol. I can't stand it anymore, but I don't have anywhere to go. I have no place to sleep, so I have to remain imprisoned in this hell. No, not when we have the Muslim village. Sister, in this village, you have a family here. We will open our doors for you, and we will provide for you. What I've done for you, I've already spoken for a much longer period than I intended to. What I've done for you is to give you a taste. There's much more in describing to you the structure of the Muslim village. I hope, inshallah, to write a booklet on the subject during the month of Ramadan while I'm in Cape Town, inshallah. When that booklet is written, then we look for you to provide the funds, and you print it, and it must be distributed free of charge as widely as possible. When you read the booklet, there'll be many of you who are going to have thoughts and ideas which have not occurred to me. And so you'll enrich the project. At that time when you read it and you have thoughts and ideas which did not occur to me, just send me an email so that when I write the second version, I will add the inputs that I'm getting from all of you. I pray that Allah will put it into the hearts of some of you, particularly those who are young, to go and build that Muslim village here in Australia. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا يَا مَوْلَانَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ بِرَحْمَتِكَ يَا أَرْحَمَ الرَّاحِمِينَ. All right, he says that what I have done is to present a micro project, Muslim village. Well, what about the macro? What about the resources of the Ummah today? What about the oil that we have? I did say at the very beginning that if you consider it to be a theoretical possibility for you to take control of territory in the name of Islam, and therefore to have control over the such resources, by all means, you should proceed with that effort. Never should it ever be said that Imran Hosein dissuaded you from it or attempted to prevent you from it. All that I have done is to use Ya'juj and Ma'juj in the Quran and Sunnah to explain to you that those who control the world today are the world order of Gog and Magog, in consequence of which it is impossible anyway on Allah's earth today to take control of territory in Allah's name and implement Allah's law at the level of the state. But if you differ with me, by all means you can proceed. Any other question? Yes. Let me repeat for the last time, so that there should be no misunderstanding. I have never ever attempted to prevent anyone who wants to pursue a revolutionary struggle to take control of territory in the name of Islam and to establish the deen. This is the philosophy of Jamaat Islami of Pakistan. This is the philosophy of Tanzim Islami of Pakistan. This is the philosophy of Hizb ut-Tahrir and so many other Islamic organizations. And I am not involved in a quarrel with my brothers. Oh no. I admire and I have tremendous respect for those who are struggling in the cause of the deen at this level. All that I ask you to do is to read the chapter of my book, Jerusalem in the Quran, on Gog and Magog. And then if you differ with me, respond to me. You can respond to me privately with an email and take me up on the subject. And if I'm wrong, correct me. Okay? You can respond to me publicly. You can write a book to refute what I've written. But since I have established, I believe very clearly, that the world order today is the world order of Gog and Magog. It is in consequence impossible to defeat them and destroy them. They will not. They're waging war on Islam, and no matter where on the face of the earth you attempt to establish Islam, the last effort being in Afghanistan with Taliban, and Taliban pursued their objective with very great sincerity. Whatever the differences I have with Taliban, I do not question the sincerity of Taliban. And yet they were destroyed. The government was destroyed, of course, but they are hiding in the mountains, and inshallah they will come out again, and there will be another day. Any other questions? Yes? As you said yesterday, being able to recognize Dajjal will be as hard as trying to see a black ant on a black rock on a dark night. Wait a minute, no. I didn't say being able to recognize Dajjal. The Prophet said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, that the shirk, the attack of shirk, which will come from Dajjal, that shirk would be as difficult to recognize as a black ant on a black rock on a dark night. You don't need to have a PhD to understand. The only way you'll be able to see a black ant on a black rock on a dark night is if you have light. You don't need a PhD for that. If you have nur. And so the only one who will be able to see and recognize the attacks of Dajjal will be the ones who have nur with which to see. But this nur, this light is not sold in the stock market. No. You can't get this nur from a Darul Uloom. Not even Azhar University. Where does the nur come from? Yahdillahu linurihi man yasha. Allah guides to His nur whomsoever Allah wishes to guide. The nur comes from Allah, and Allah will put it in the heart of whomsoever He wishes to put it. But to get this nur in your heart, it's not something which is the privilege of only the ulama, the awliya, only them, not you and I. Oh no, oh no, not at all. Whoever does not have the nur and therefore cannot see, now with these eyes, cannot see, Allah says of such people, they're just like cattle. Where does He say that? In Suratul A'raf. وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. They have eyes but they can't see, they have ears but they can't hear, they have hearts but they cannot understand. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. They're just like cattle. And so this is why that nur is so important to understand the world in the age of Dajjal.